Previously on He Said, She Heard. I have a guest with me today, and he is spreading inspiration in every direction possible. Emmanuel Enime.
I'm a character coach. God called me out of Baton Rouge, Louisiana to move to Zagreb, Croatia. It's that taking that leap of faith, that pushing outside of one's comfort zone that then spawns the creativity. There's one way for you to really know that you're happy. Okay, what is that? Clap your, and then I would say, clap your hands.
We're going to play a part 2 of God's favorite plumber. All this and more on He Said, She Heard. Listening to us from any corner of the world. You know that you can watch us too.
È possibile vedere anche il video di questo episodio collegandovi sul sito www.hesaidSheHeard.com.
If you want to watch this episode, you can head over to our website, www.hesaidSheHeard.com.
Listen to the Fox Podcast. Let me put it back on.
She heard a silly noise. I know what's going on. He said that's not what happened. Girl, you got it wrong. He said she heard about what's going on.
Oh yeah!
He said she heard about what's going on. About what's going on.
Hey, Foxer!
Rising Star presents I Met Jesus. The pre-NFT collection features the world's most expensive photograph called Church Grounds, along with billion-dollar digital images of incredible spiritual quality and significance. Rising Star, the innovative house based in New York City, presents the timeless art collection entitled I Met Jesus, which includes several limited sub-collections. The main director of Rising Star is James Dennis, and he carefully curated this timeless collection. A Rising Star spokesperson said, "The work is the result of years of curation and divine alignment. It's an honor to help revive the church in a way that is unique from the norm." You can learn more about the world's most expensive photograph by going to Mena FM and searching for I Met Jesus. And stay tuned for the collection called Jesus Showed Me a Split Sea. Secure this digital asset today. Are you searching for life lessons from the real world as opposed to the classroom, but you also want to be entertained at the same time? Then you need to read this book, Graduation Day, Life Lessons from the Real World by Flobo Boyce. And tell us about your book called Graduation Day.
Everyone always tells you, hey, if you could tell a younger person something, what would you say? I say nothing at all, because I think this journey was great. But what would I tell somebody else is what this book's about.
Flobo's memoir, Graduation Day, is funny yet touching, as his real but unbelievable experiences have influenced the way he looks at life, and it'll give you a new outlook too. Buy yours today on Amazon Kindle or paperback by clicking on the link in this episode's show description. Buy Graduation Day, Life Lessons from the Real World by Flobo Boyce today on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Woo! Yeah, at the end, it wraps up into like my actual commencement. So Graduation Day is named the book. It's available on Amazon.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of He Said, She Heard, which may end up being your favorite. So don't forget to click the share and subscribe buttons, and also to keep this international comedy and music show going and growing, there's a Become a Patron button. When you click the Become a Patron button, you'll see there's perks for supporting the show that's brought to you from 3 different countries. Listen, share, support. Back to the show now.
For 3 different countries, we bring you this show.
So you said you're in Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah, according to I am.
So were you born there, or you moved?
Interesting notion. I'm actually currently living in a different part of the state that I grew up in. But at the same time, it is kind of like taking a full circle if I look at it philosophically. What happened was I was about 22 years old. I had moved out of the Keystone State, but I was in the Pittsburgh section, the western section of the state, since the state of Pennsylvania is so big. But I moved back here about 6 years ago because my wife and I, we were living in the New York, New Jersey area, but we moved here because we realized it was cheaper to raise a family here, more affordable than over in the New York, New Jersey region. But when I look at my life and I see that I'm back in Pennsylvania, I was a kid back then. Now I'm an adult. Now I'm my parents' age when they were raising me and putting me through school. So now I'm the one, or we're the one, my wife and I, doing that together as a family. And so it's a weird feeling. Not weird isn't bad, but just weird isn't like, oh wow, when did this happen? When did this happen? The world is so different now. And I'm
so
a parent.
you got yourself different perspectives on the state of Pennsylvania.
Oh, I sure do, because it's a big state, closer to the Philadelphia side, like maybe about an hour and a half. So yeah, it is a big state. It is a big state.
And are you living? I guess what is the
City.
what does the landscape around you look like? Is it
They call
wooded?
it the Lehigh Valley. Is what
Okay.
they call this area, because it's different towns that are part of Lehigh County, but they're all in the valley. You're not in the mountains. You're not by the ocean. You're in the valley.
Here, I'm looking this up because I want to see what Lehigh Valley. Okay, so I mean that looks. I mean, you got yourself some nice greenery around there.
There is plenty of that. You'll find some woods here and there, but the area is changing. It's so funny because where I had moved from was the New York, New Jersey area, where my wife and I had met. And so even though this is a stark contrast, at the same time, it's not, because a lot of other people had been moving here since the early 2000s from that area. So it's changing, and people that grew up here.
Is there a reason why people were moving from the New York, New Jersey area?
Yeah, financial reasons.
Okay.
Historically speaking, people used to move out of New York and then they would move into New Jersey because it's cheaper. But now people are moving all the way to Pennsylvania, either from New York or from New Jersey, because they're finding out the cost of living is a lot cheaper. So we just thought, wow, we could get more space, and we're homeowners now. So I have my own studio in the basement where I do this. So it's amazing how this all happened. So we moved into this house about 2018. And as I'm looking at this room that I'm in right now, I just said to myself, this could be a dedicated space if I wanted to set up my own recording studio to do some voice acting, because I hadn't been using this part of my brain. I don't know if it's the left or the right, but anyway, I haven't been using the creative part of my brain for quite some time. So it was 2018 when it started, when not only did we buy the house and I created this space dedicated to voice acting, but one thing led to another. It all started with narrating some audiobooks on Audible, and then eventually podcasting. And here I am today, talking to you.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out a little bit of an observation. Your ceiling kind of reminds me of a well-designed paper towel.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so, like from here, from this perspective, I'm like, oh, it looks like the designs that I see on a paper towel. So do you guys get to go out into nature often? Like, you taking hikes and stuff like that, camping at all?
Not really, but that is available here. If people want to do that type of stuff, as far as taking walks, yeah. But yeah, people do that sort of thing here. There are bike trails, those rails trails. You will find that in certain towns where these used to be railroad tracks. Now it's places where people can bike. So you'll see a lot of that, and they connect from city to city. It's quite beautiful, and you'll see it over a little river or creek. So yeah, you'll see that a lot here in this area.
That's interesting. You said because railroad track got converted into, or the space that used to be occupied by a railroad track
Yes.
has been created into bike lanes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. As I'm drawing the picture in my mind, I'm like, that might actually look pretty cool, and that might be nice to whisk along
Yeah,
through wooded area. And
it is neat.
you know something. Speaking of creativity,
Yeah.
as you said, you kind of felt that that was being suppressed.
Yeah, I did, especially having a new family, not having the time to do it. I, right now as we speak, it's 6:07 a.m. My kids are sleeping, and so this is the time I utilize before I go to my day job. Everything is just straightforward. This is where I'm like, okay, I have to utilize this part of my brain during this time. So this is it, it's liberating, and it's just I can't I can't turn it off, and I don't want to turn it off. Yeah.
Have you noticed that starting out your day with joy really helps set the tone for the day?
It
And
does. It does. And I
okay.
and I bring it with me, and at my day job there are some people that they'll hear me laughing, and they'll say your laughter is contagious, and
Okay.
especially the type of environment I work in that is known for being very stressful.
Mm.
I take appreciation in that, and I always hope that people pass it on to one another, because it's what the world needs right now. It's what the world needs, and my goal always is to kind of give people that space that, okay, they can put aside what's happening
Mhm.
in the world, current events, take a moment to just say, okay, I just want to laugh, or I just want to hear a conversation between two
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, and it's a good thing for me to have my tone set for the day, um, or I should say, for every hour on the hour. And well, I would say before ending the day as well, I noticed that, as we say, that happiness is contagious, but I noticed that it is contagious to my own self. And so there is a parable that says, what a man sows, that he shall also reap. So basically, what you put out is what you're going to get back.
That's so true.
And I noticed that what I myself am putting out, like, say, for instance, a day was a little bit tough and I'm walking back home. I noticed that if I smile and speak to strangers and I ask them how their day was, then all of a sudden that joy starts to bubble back up inside of me.
That's wonderful.
And so, yeah, so it's almost like,
Good feeling.
I guess people could relate to this, maybe with like a thought of anger.
Yeah.
So that thought fed itself, and then it grew momentum and just kept getting bigger and bigger. And so thoughts of anger just kept escalating. And so kind of the same thing with, or I'll say the same thing with the thought of joy or happiness. It's like it's self-replicating and it starts to multiply.
Yes.
And so, and then when I'm putting it out, then it's coming back, it's growing within me. And so that's something that people could practically do as you're driving home from work, maybe just waving to strangers.
Hey, why not?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll try that on my commute home this afternoon.
That's funny. Cool. Yeah, and speaking of going out into the woods, into nature, have you ever experienced this? Because I've experienced this myself. So whenever I go into my break week, because for about the past year and a half, this is how I've been working. 6 weeks work, 1 week rest. 6 weeks work, 1 week rest. And whenever I go into my break week, I am making sure that I find myself around nature. And one thing that I have experienced is that it seems to spawn creativity, or
Yeah.
to spawn some sort of new idea,
Yes.
or helps me look at a new at an older idea
An older idea.
From a different perspective.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, we're bringing things full circle here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Perspective. And so
I know what you mean.
that's one of the reasons why I'm starting to have this growing affinity towards nature, and I'm happy to I guess know that people are living around natural environments, and they do have that opportunity to go step outside.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a matter of you're on your back porch sipping sipping some orange juice or sipping a tea.
Yeah.
And just that moment of being around the natural beauty of things, and in a sense has a calming effect on one's mind.
Yes. Absolutely.
Indeed. Yeah, this is a good chat. What was the inspiration for the name of your show?
Well,
it's He Said, She Heard, right?
yes. What happened was I was noticing that in human relationships, that's often something that happens is one person is saying something, but the other person is hearing something completely different. And you see it sometimes on old American sitcoms. And so early on, I was just doing these voices. Like the first episode is nothing like this episode right now, completely different. So I always tell people when they start listening to listen to more of the more recent ones. But that was the inspiration from the beginning. So I just kind of kept the name, and because I thought, well, really, that's kind of the crux of what it's all about. Is I could be saying something, but she could be hearing something different.
So a
So
good communication.
Communication, exactly.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's key.
That's
That's
key.
absolutely key, because things can blow up from a misunderstanding.
Oh, they sure can.
And that's one of the reasons why I try to encourage people to be mindful, be slower to speak, and quick to try and hear the other person out. And I have, again, talking about perspective, like sometimes in my preaching, or I should say oftentimes in my preaching, people are in direct opposition to something that I might be saying, or the way that I might be saying it. And I have discovered this one thing, that I would not be here today if I had not incorporated those other people's perspectives into my progress
Right.
in character development. And it's like, okay, all right, maybe this person came off a bit hot, or they're just not grasping what I'm saying. But as I try to effectively communicate, then I do try to my best to grasp what they're saying, although what they're saying might be intentionally inflammatory. I'm still trying to gather something, and having that perspective of the person who is negative towards you is also, or has also been absolutely important for me to continue to make progress. And so
Yes.
I strive to not shut down the opinions of other people directly towards me, like their opinions of me. And so, so it's sometimes conversations get uncomfortable, and sometimes I've been concerned that I'm like, oh, I feel like this person might hit me.
Right.
But I stay peaceful, I stay forgiving, and I try to make sure that we end on some common ground.
That's a great goal to have. That's a wonderful goal to have. Wow. Well, you've definitely inspired me during this conversation we've had, and keep doing what you're doing. So where can people find you to get more joy, more inspiration?
So I think you could go to like Home Depot, pick up a shovel, and start digging your. No, I'm joking. So people can find me on Instagram. And so, and it's at Emmanuel Enime, and all one word. I imagine you'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah, I sure will.
Okay. So yeah, people can find me there, and this is where I am focused on helping people understand the fundamentals and the tools they can utilize in order to play this game called life.
Well, that's well said, Emmanuel. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it was a pleasure, sir.
Yes.
I'm very happy to have chatted with you.
Yes,
and
feeling is mutual.
I wish you a very wonderful day.
Well, thank you, Emmanuel. Well, thank you for coming on. He said, she heard. It was great having you. And I wish you a great day as well. And I wish everybody listening or watching, or both, a wonderful day as well. And when we come back from this break, don't go nowhere. When we come back, we're going to play a part 2 of God's favorite plumber. Stay tuned. Are you searching for life lessons from the real world as opposed to the classroom, but you also want to be entertained at the same time? Then you need to read this book, Graduation Day, Life Lessons from the Real World by Flobo Boyce.
And tell us about your book called Graduation Day.
Everyone always tells you, hey, if you could tell a younger person something, what would you say? I say nothing at all, because I think this journey was great. But what would I tell somebody else is what this book's about.
Flobo's memoir, Graduation Day, is funny yet touching, as his real but unbelievable experiences have influenced the way he looks at life, and it'll give you a new outlook too. Buy yours today on Amazon Kindle or paperback by clicking on the link in this episode's show description. Buy Graduation Day, Life Lessons from the Real World by Flobo Boyce today on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. Woo! Yeah, at the end, it wraps up into like my actual commencement. So Graduation Day is named the book. It's available on Amazon.
He said, she heard. These guys are a riot.
And the Zeppelins are still sitting in my stomach.
I love the quirky comedy.
What? We're like squatters.
The music.
In California, there's many Dumbos.
And now I can wear the show.
Wow.
That's right. I just bought some He Said, She Heard merchandise. I got a t-shirt. So beautiful. A mask.
Who's that?
A tank top.
She's smoking hot.
Thank you. Because on TeePublic, there's a sale going on.
Did you see that?
Head over to www.hesaidSheheard.com and click on Shop Now.
Vámonos.
Nom, 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 nom.
Honey, let's go. That's www.hesaidSheheard.com and click on Shop Now.
Previously on God's Favorite Plumber.
Praise be to God. A reading from Exodus 14:21. And the Lord drove the sea back by a strong east wind all night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were... We got a problem with the church's plumbing. There's only one man for the job, but dang it, it's Sunday.
Black Spoon Bowl Plumbing.
There is an answer.
We're on our way.
Did somebody call Victor Black Spoon Bowl?
All places of worship are having plumbing issues this weekend.
Easy fix too, or just sealed the leak.
Hallelujah. I think it's time for a song. Victor, will you join us?
Call the plumber, 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 call the plumber.
We now continue God's Favorite Plumber. Hi, Vicky.
Oh, you must be Detective Dick Ditson Jr.
I love it how we're in a house of worship and you're being all proper and changing my last name from Titson to Ditson. That's cute.
I didn't know you go here.
We have problems at home. This place always lifts my spirits. And you know what? So do you.
Come again?
Hold on. Are you getting back at God's favourite plumber for that time you thought your wife was getting with me?
Now hold on just a second. What is going on? Can someone tell me what in the opposite of heaven is going on?
Nothing out of the ordinary, Reverend. I do.
Look, Dick, Victor would never run around on me.
I don't mean to get involved, but it sounds like there's some sort of backstory to all this. I hope we don't have a Timothy 5:8 situation over here.
I think it is. I will play you a clip from HSSH podcast episode number 5 called Sexy Plumber, which was later released as an unabridged version, and episode 20 called Sexy Plumber Uncut. Take a listen, everyone. This might be a little bit shocking for you, though. Oh, well, what do we have here?
Just an old bra.
Okay, well, I'm just going to take this off. Oh, no, you don't. You won't make it to second base. I'm coming in.
Dick!
All right, nobody move. Officer Titson, what's going on here?
Just a drip down there.
Easy fix, too. Great thing your wife called. Enough with the lies. Lydia, you were about to do the plumber.
Is that a dance the young people do? Do the plumber, do the plumber.
Now stop the tape. No, I don't mean to intervene on domestic matters, but my name is I do, and I've been known to help couples work it out. Where's your wife, by the way?
I'm right here, Reverend.
Now, Lydia, I think your husband can't let go of the past. You have a history with God's favorite plumber, Mr. Black Spoon Bowl.
Well,
There you go, Lydia. That sounds like a Timothy 5:8 right there already.
Dick,
Yes, Vicky.
Victor is handsome, and I'm very lucky to have him as a husband.
She's right. I only have eyes for you. You see how I just applied the kiss sealant on her? Your wife and I never did that and never will. Why can't you let go of your childhood past?
He's right.
You need to let it go, Dick.
Now, who are these people?
That's my father and that's my uncle, Jake and Jack Black Spoonball. We came for backup because we heard the leak was really flooding this place. All fixed here, but we got a jealousy leak that really needs some sealant.
Oh, this marriage needs a good holy sealant or a holy galvanized replacement of fear with love.
I was in your shoes one day. Let's play a clip from Black Spoon Bowl, mini-series of this podcast.
Jack.
Belinda.
Jack.
Are you pregnant?
Yeah. But I'm more than certain that your brother is the dad.
The point of me playing that clip is even though my brother knocked up your mom and had Victor,
Oh, goodness me. This is so Genesis chapter 2, verse 25.
you can't punish Lydia for Belinda seeking him out because...
Now I'll finish because she's still with you. Lydia loves you, right?
Of course. I know you're jealous of God's favorite plumber, but you're my favorite detective and my favorite husband. I think there's a mystery you may want to solve later on.
What is wrong with me? I'm so sorry. I love you, Lydia.
I love you too.
You are human, Zick. God chose this plumber to fix this leak in this church, but...
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt, Pastor, but gents, we need maximum plumbing power for 2 jobs, as the Walnut Presbyterian Church's ladies' sink won't stop running. And the Atheist Society just had 5 of their toilets clogged.
Now, don't go away. I'm sorry. I admit I have sinned. I should go forth too, as I was the one who clogged it. I need to forgive even the unbelievers. Let's go, but first, let us hear the sweet sounds of that plumber rap once again.
Black spoon bowl, you what you wanna do is gotta lay down there. There's no one to do, just pick up the phone. They'll be for longer, don't wanna wait till the beer swimming in the summer. Go to plumber, 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 go to plumber. Call the plumber, 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 call the plumber.
This was He Said She Heard. God's Favorite Plumber. Flobo Boyce. Kaylee Allen. John Fox. Kelly Petering. Music by Matthias Signoroldi with Ariana Corona and Romina Barbara. Sound effects provided by Zapsplat.com and Feslian Studios. Follow Emmanuel Enime on Instagram at Emmanuel Enime. Follow He Said She Heard at He Said She Heard on Instagram. You can listen to more music by Matthias Signoroldi at en.mattiartist.com. You can buy Flobo Boyce's book, Graduation Day, on Amazon. Please rate and review this episode, and don't forget to subscribe to He Said She Heard via your preferred podcast app.
Call the plumber, 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 call the plumber.